Are you supposed to be the ghost of TARDIS Past?
Yeah, I'm the Pomegam TARDIS.
It's the Christmasing! Day 3. What did we watch? Hey, stop it! I guess I'm doing this myself.
TARDIS!
Get out of there. What did we watch?
We watched Frosty the Snowman and Jimmy Durante.
We live in a flat now.
Frosty.
I'm really sorry about that. I don't know why she does that. She thinks it's funny.
Yes, I'm trying to be entertaining.
Making a loud noise is never entertaining.
It can be.
No, it's not. So we watched the Rankin Bass classic Frosty the Snowman.
Rankin Bass.
As narrated and sung by Jimmy Durante, who
Jimmy Durante,
is famous at some point.
Who sounds like Stan Lee crossed with Tom Waits.
Frosty the Snowman.
Excelsior!
Probably. So that was one of the most iconic classics on this list. Well, okay, except for all the other ones. So what did you think? Were you filled with the spirit of Christmas? Did the magic of Christmas snow, make you think, wow,
I
Christmas?
think we have a slightly different definition of the word iconic.
Well, I mean, iconic as in a lot of people know it, and a lot of people have seen it, and a lot of people think about it.
I think we have a slightly different view of the word iconic.
Well, what would you call an iconic Christmas special?
Probably the Snowman.
Oh, why are you singing again? Stop singing. Well, see, I had that on VHS because we taped it off PBS because only PBS would run that British crap.
Pips.
No, but it was nice. But here's the thing about the Snowman is I was always pretty confused by it when I was little because there was no dialogue, actually, as I recall.
It's very arty.
It's very arty, and basically, if you really like that song, isn't it some famous Irish person sang it or something?
It was Aled Jones, who's Welsh.
Okay, well, same thing. But okay, I'm sorry. I'm not same thing. Not same
Ireland,
thing. The Welsh voted leave, so.
How do you know Ireland and Wales are probably the only two countries in the British Isles that didn't invade each other at any point?
That's a pretty good point. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, like, unless you really like that song, but then all you really do is watch things happen and you listen to that song, and if you're like 3 or 4, you're like, this is not exciting for me. No. And like, just put you to sleep, kind of.
Wow, wow, I didn't realize my roots had got quite that bad.
We're doing a vlog. It's not like hygiene time.
It's not hygiene, it's just...
Hair time.
Yeah, I just gotta...
We've got a mirror,
Yes, I look in the mirror and stuff, it's usually my hair is tied back.
Well, you can dye it another color next week. But I realize you don't really have much cultural context for making a snowman, because have you guys ever gotten enough snow to make a snowman?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I'm shocked.
I do not recall
Like
ever
once?
building a snowman myself. However, I know people build snowmen. Whenever you have a decent snowfall, you would wander around. You would occasionally see snowmen.
Oh, okay. It's only snowed like literally twice since I moved here, and yeah.
So Mega being like, "Oh, you guys don't do a snowman, do you?"
Well, because it snows so
My
infrequently.
impersonation of Omega.
No, I don't know why I'm British all of a sudden. No, because it snows so infrequently here, and basically the first winter that I was here, we got 3 inches of snow, and you would have thought aliens invaded. The city literally shut down, and it's because it's not really common to grit or salt the roads. So basically, cars just stalled out going up Craig and Hill, and we're like, fuck it. They left their cars. They're like, oh, I'll get them another time. And because nobody salts or grits, then everything becomes really, really dangerous. So it just shuts the damn city down. Like, I remember it snowed like 6 inches a few years before I moved over here, and I had sent her a present, and I was like, oh, I just got the tracking. It's cleared customs in Belfast, so you should get it by tomorrow. And she's like, no, we got 6 inches of snow. I'm like, that's cool. So it'll add a day onto it. And you said one of the best things you ever said. No. You don't understand. They've closed the Glen Shane Pass. And I was like, because that sounded really drastic, I'm like, what do you mean? There's no road from here to Belfast now. We're completely isolated. They've closed the Glen Shane Pass. The Glen Shane Pass is literally the only highway that goes through the mountains for the Sperrins. So basically they will shut the pass
Theoretically,
if it's snowing.
You could, in that sort of situation, you theoretically could make it from
Well,
Darien
there's
to
back
Belfast.
roads. There's just
There's crappy
it
back
has to skirt
roads.
the sparrows.
Plus,
There's
there's you know, you could go like north and go around, or you could probably go around by Sligo or
something like that.
But who wants to go to Sligo?
Well, no, that was my concern. I think it was last year we were going to Amsterdam for a few days in December, and it was a big concern because there'd been snow up in the mountains, and we were concerned that we'd have to take the bus all the way down to the Republic and all the way up to Belfast, but it ended up being okay. They closed the Glenshane Pass, Frosty. So, Frosty the Snowman is animated by the magic hat of a not very good magician who is our villain for the day.
He's a terrible villain because all he does is he's terrible at his job, but he tries, and people laughed at him for being crap at his job. And
people laughed at him for being gay.
He then throws his hat away, his magician hat away, in anger, and then discovered that it can bring life and stuff, and then he's like, okay, actually I want that hat again because it's mine, because, you know, technically it's his as far as I'm concerned. And then everyone else is like,
in the States, if you throw something away, you have relinquished your ownership.
Then everyone's like, apparently this makes him evil, that he wants to hold on to this thing.
He wants to murder Frosty. If he takes the hat
side
back,
effect of
Frosty
him getting,
will lose sentience.
It is a side effect of him getting, getting his property
But the point is that, no, it's not his property. Legally, and if you're a lawyer, you comment.
As far as I'm concerned, it's his property.
No, if you throw something away, if you put it in the rubbish, then you have legally relinquished your rights to it.
He threw it away in anger, and then he
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The law does not care about your intent.
No.
Just saying.
As far as I'm concerned, the magician is in the right.
Lawyers or paralegals back me up in the comments. But yeah, so then Frosty's like, well, I can't hang around here forever because eventually the temperature will go up and I'll die, kids.
Plus, he's John Candy.
He's not John Candy. He's voiced by somebody others famous.
Sounds like John Candy.
Does sound like John Candy, but this was way back with John Candy.
Hey, John Candy. Well, when you were alive, why didn't you replace Frosty the Snowman? That would have been good casting.
I would have, because he's Canadian and everything too. So
yeah.
But yeah, so they decided that the only place where Frosty can't melt is the North Pole. I guess the South Pole is too inaccessible.
Or Siberia.
Or
Alaska.
So they go and they get it. They must be somewhere near the border. They must be somewhere in like Montana or something, because the first stop off the train I mentioned was Saskatchewan. So it must be somewhere close to the border with Canada, because we're like, it'll suck if they're in like, you know,
Florida.
I don't know. No, there's no snow in Florida.
Could
or like
be.
Tennessee or something. But yeah, so they don't have any money, so they can't buy a ticket. So the magician's rabbit, go with me on this one, gets the bright idea to, oh, we'll just stow him away on a refrigerated boxcar. Great plan. And the wee girl Karen's like, I'll go with you, because sure, it'll be grand.
And she freezes to death, and I'm like, she's
like, yes,
stupid child.
She very quickly has forgotten that she is a mammal.
And before they get on the train, they had a bunch of children who decided to worship Frosty after they create him, which, you know, seems a bit counterintuitive. You know, if you've created some life, then why should
they don't worship him? They like
they were going around it in circles. That was tribal as fuck.
They were linking their arms and dancing as American children used to do apparently before the internet.
They were worshiping him, and like two of the children were clones.
They were dizygotic twins.
They were clones.
They looked the same, but they had different eye and hair colors, meaning they were dizygotic twins. Only monozygotic twins are clones. Dizygotic twins are not.
I'm actually suggesting that at some point, like some sort of scientist genetically created them in the lab.
They were probably born. But so
no, they were probably animated.
They get off the train somewhere in the wilderness because Karen's dying. And they come upon some
Those bastards,
animals.
They stopped the natural process of her dying.
Stop it. They come upon some animals who are decorating their glen for Christmas because Santa Claus is coming. So the rabbit goes and talks the animals and starting a campfire for her. But then your man, the magician, shows up, and Frosty and Karen book it. And they come
fucking animals were decorating a fucking tree, and they're all on personal terms with Santa Claus.
Well, like, they're animals. They're without sin, so they're always going to be nice. So, of course Santa Claus will come and give them things. They're without...
Except whenever they start killing each other with their blows to their head.
No, because all of those
deer smacking heads, no.
Well, no, they smack their heads against each other.
Yeah.
But that's not naughtiness. That's mating. And they very infrequently die from that. It's their natural way. Santa Claus respects
I
their
know,
natural way.
her coming across these animals that are fucking decorating a tree. It reminded me of the South Park episode with the satanic sort of really cute woodland critters, who you're meant to think it's like a Christmas thing, and they're all being all like celebrating Christmas, and they're all really nice and everything. But actually, they were like sacrificing things to bring forth the devil.
I don't think that was happening in a Rankin Bass.
I think it may well have been a parody of this.
Potentially.
Woodland Critter Christmas, that was it.
So Karen and Frosty come upon a greenhouse growing poinsettias, but the magician Hinkle traps them inside, and Frosty melts.
This greenhouse, they specified this greenhouse was growing special tropical plants for Christmas. Who the fuck has tropical plants for Christmas? Tropical anything for Christmas, except for if you're in the tropics.
Poinsettias are sold all over the country.
What the fuck is a poinsettia?
It's with the big red leaves.
They said it was something to do with Christmas.
Yes, poinsettias. They're a Christmas fly. They represent. I mean, they're so. We would have them, guys. Write the show.
It's not a thing over here.
Well, it is a thing over here because you have to remember that part of America has tropical climate, like the American South. So you can grow poinsettias down the south. You can grow them in greenhouses, and although you have to be really careful because the poinsettia leaves, the red leaves, have these wee little structures inside, like little like crystalline structures that can really cut up the mouth of a child who would eat them. They are. I don't think they're poisonous, but I think kids will throw up if they eat them, and I know the dogs and cats cannot eat poinsettias, so practice safe poinsettiaing this year, everybody. What?
I think if you're stupid enough to have a tropical plant in celebration of Christmas, you deserve to.
It's a real thing, guys. In the comments, tell her I'm right. But yeah, so then Santa Claus shows up to the animal glen, and the rabbit tells him what's gone down. He's like, well,
the rabbit using the sort of rabbit language because
but
Santa Claus speaks rabbit.
So Santa shows up, and he comes inside, and Karen's like, it's too late, he's dead. And Santa's like, no, because he was made of Christmas snow, and Christmas snow is special, and sure, it may seem to go away for a while, but it'll be back every year. And he opens the door, and
I want to punch Santa.
Gust of wind, picks up the water that was frosty and brings it outside, and he's reformed again. And then your man, the magician's like, don't, that's my hat. And Santa Claus is like, fuck off with you, asshole. If you try to take the hat back, I'll never bring you presents again. Which is a valid threat in a world where Santa Claus exists.
And the magician should point out that he's an adult, therefore he doesn't get presents from Santa Claus.
Yes, but maybe in this world, because Santa Claus exists, everyone gets presents from him.
And the magician should point out that with, the riches that will come with his magical life-giving fucking hat, he doesn't need presents anymore.
I don't think he thought that far.
And Santa Claus did not give him the most important gift of all, that of being a decent magician.
That's true.
So fuck you, Santa Claus.
But anyway, so he runs off back home to write, I'm really sorry for what I did to Frosty, million, zillion times to placate Santa Claus. And so Santa Claus brings Karen back home on his sleigh and leaves her on the roof, we noticed. Because apparently, a missing persons bulletin will be filed for her soon. And he takes Frosty back to the North Pole, but he comes back every year. And they sang the song about 4 times. In 26 minutes.
And this animation, it reminds me of, I think 7 Crazy Nights, the Adam Sandler Hanukkah thing.
It might have been.
Which I've seen clips of, and I try to avoid watching Adam Sandler films, so I've never actually seen it. But it looks like that, slightly 60s-ish. The animation in this was far better than I expected. It was far better than the Snoopy one, because the look of the characters was not particularly 60s. It looked a little bit more timeless-ish. It was sort of like stylized, but not in the very 60s style.
I think it's late 60s.
And it was much more fluidly animated than a lot of 60s animation I've seen, especially TV stuff.
But you can definitely tell the stuff that they subcontract to Toei because it looks like anime.
But they're unimpressed. I'm going to die watching Christmas-related things.
She's not. She's being dramatic. Have you discovered the meaning of Christmas yet?
Meaning of Christmas is shut the fuck up.
Oh! No, it's not.
It is, sort of.
No, it's not.
If I redefine Christmas as, dictionary definition, you have to shut the fuck up, then it is.
Well, actually... So there. So that's been this episode of the Christmasing. we have a really great treat for you next. Up next for day 4 is a Claymation Christmas celebration.
Oh God.
For the people who brought you the California raisins.
Hey, they
for
are.
every single person who actually remembers the California raisins.
I think that's Will Vinton.
It is exactly.
Who did Adventures of Mark Twain.
He did, yeah. Which is why I thought that's pretty poignant, because what have you just posted?
Well, at this point,
It's live. Because it's...
yeah, Mark Twain's up. But at this point, probably something since.
Oh yeah, that's true. So if you always desperately wanted to see how
this is actually a week ago or so.
Yeah. Christmas time. The TARDIS does not go woof. So we'll see you next time.
It is bigger on the inside.
Oh my god.